Hmm. Well, I'll look at it and potentially talk about it tomorrow in Tangible, but I really don't have anything else to say about the Arena Open. Participate in the Arena Open if you are in it because you love to participate in competitive Magic events and you like aspirational play. I would disregard EV and ask yourself whether that experience is what you want, that participating in a competitive standard event is what you want. If so, do it. Yes, thank you. 0.2 and 6.8. Bring it, Craig. Craig's in the gauntlet tomorrow. Hat calls out some poor timing, but what are you going to do? Having the upcoming standard companion adjust coming the day after the big cash tourney has sucked the air out of it for me. Well, what do you do in their shoes? So standard needs tweaking. Do you tweak it right before the big event and undo all the practice that so many people have put into preparing for that event? Or do you do it right after the event to fix it ASAP, but not in a way that wrecks the work people have done preparing for this big format you've announced? I mean, it sucks, but it's like they have to, right? I think they're absolutely doing it right. Intangible thinks they're going to make you do a mulligan to 6. Or just execute the London mulligan on your hand if you companion. That's been a pretty common suggestion that has set right with me. I do wonder if they even think that it's not about the extra card, but it's about the consistency. It depends. I think we also haven't seen the numbers. You know, Wizards and R&D is very data driven when it comes to bans and adjustments to formats, because they have all this digital data with Magic Online and to an extent Arena now. And the question is, what problem are they trying to solve and what's the best way to solve it? And if it's just too dominant, you know, you don't want to, because the more drastic thing to say is the companion mechanic was a mistake, and just you can play them in your decks like normal rares, but kill companion as a mechanic. That would be pretty extreme. I doubt that's what they will do. That's seems to me almost too much of an admission that the mechanic was a mistake. Maybe that's not the right way. I mean, they want balance. I hope they're not going to be stubborn about it and they're going to do whatever they think is correct for the balance of everything. But the solution I would be in favor of were I in R&D is the companioned. When you present a companioned deck, you do a forced London mulligan with your starting 7. Then you get to do you get to keep this mechanic you made that's supposed to be load bearing for the whole set and supposed to be cool and supposed to have, you know, because there are people who really like it too. There are people who love the deck building around it and everything. And I don't, you know, it's tough. I think you don't want to kill the whole mechanic, but it may be that the mechanic itself is just fundamentally broken, that the consistency it provides for the key card in your deck is just too good. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Zach wonders, hopes it won't change for limited. That's another interesting question. Would they do something to fix quote fix companions in constructed, but not change anything in limited? That seems unusual, but I think with the level of investment that their limited players have, I think they probably know they can get away with a complex solution and it will still be executed by players. So maybe. G Guards, what's up? Welcome. Yeah, well, it's curious. They might even take a two-pronged approach. Maybe they start with a do a London mulligan on your hand if you present a companion, and then see what that does, and then kill it completely if that doesn't solve it. It would make them unplayable. Oh, to companion them and mulligan. Would it? It'd still be pretty darn good and limited. you might be less inclined to companion them at that point. If you just had to run them as rares in your deck, that's okay too. D asks, do you think Historic should be all digital and no tabletop so they can tweak the cards? That's a great question, D, and a really interesting like kind of suggestion for Wizards. One of the things that is that's so lamentable to R&D is that, I mean, it's the golden anchor is what I called it. The paper game is a golden anchor, and the golden anchor around digital Magic makers is that the paper game must be respected, supported, and considered. You don't get to do what all these other competitors in the space of collectible card game digital do, like Hearthstone and Eternal, and those are the prime examples. But obviously anything in that genre of collectible deck building strategy card game, the all digital ones have this great benefit of being able to tweak the cards after the fact. You know, if Magic were an all digital game, they would be solving the companion problem by tweaking the power knobs on the companions themselves in real time, not in real time, but like in updates as the set is out. When you print your cards on cardboard, you're stuck. And so D, even though I think it's a very interesting idea, and I think if they, it's a great idea, but it does have the huge problem of digital and paper not matching, and I think that is a real problem. I think you would almost want to change the names of cards and make them digital only Magic cards, but then you also get into an uncanny valley situation, D, because you're not going to like change the art. So it's just really weird for players to, let's say you learn to play Magic on Arena, and you learn all of these cards and what they do and how they play, and then you get into the paper game and find that all of your cards are different, that you are playing a format where the cards change in paper, and that's a high cost to pursue the idea. That being said, the idea of Magic embracing the digital and saying, hey, let's make a digital specific product, let's make something that can ignore paper, that can unchain the golden anchor from around the digital designer's ankle and create a very fluid, flexible, and digital specific Magic experience. That's a great idea. I think so, because I pitched it to Wizards while I was there. We had a really cool offsite one time. R&D did an offsite where everybody in R&D pitched 5-minute kind of one-pager type presentations to the R&D bosses, and if they liked your rough idea of a pitch, you got to do a pitch in front of all of R&D in supporting your idea. And my pitch was Magic Online, basically a digital Magic unset, and I designed some cards for it as examples to show the digital design space that paper didn't have. Like one of them, it was a super expensive artifact, but basically if you fired it off, it was like, I think I called it Panic Button, and it would replace it would replace your battlefield and deck with the battlefield and deck of somebody else playing online at the time in that format. So you just switch, you just take a gamble and get somebody else's board state and work with that. It was just stuff like that, you know, that was really silly. But what I wanted to call out by pitching that idea to R&D was, how can we explore digital design space for Magic cards in a way that works? And fundamentally, though, if you like that idea, if you like the idea of a digital Magic set or digital specific stuff, it all comes down to return on investment and the business decisions by the leaders at Wizards of the Coast deciding what is the most efficient way for us to convert employee time into company revenue, right? It's just a time to revenue conversion. And so far, the work that it would take to craft an excellent digital specific Magic experience hasn't been worth it relative to simply continuing on the paper plan and making things that are supported by paper. So digital basically has to get so big that the ROI on digital specific stuff starts to become appealing to wizards. And even though Arena has been, by all accounts from our perspective, pretty successful, I don't think it's there yet. All right, with that little long aside, I'm going to skim through chat here, and then we'll get on it. Actually, while I'm skimming through chat, I'll pull what we're going to do today. We'll start with War versus Ikoria. So far, Ikoria has crushed War all week, but I'll still play War if people want to vote for it. So let's throw that out there first. Intangible observes that fixing a mechanic takes more time than banning it. Yep. It's kind of like, I mean, fixing something is taking time to build, right? And banning something is destroy. And it's always easier to destroy than to build. James hopes that Lutri can be unbanned in Commander with the change. I mean, if they keep the companion rule, I don't see how, given that the point, I mean, I guess they, yeah, if it has a real cost. I mean, the problem that the Commander Rules Committee had with it is that it's a completely free inclusion for any deck that has that can support that color pair, right? And it's that completely freeness of it that made it unacceptable to that rules committee. So maybe a London mulligan your hand after would also make it acceptable in Commander. We'll see. Golden Albatross works too. Media thinks Magic should do what is best for paper first and foremost, and they do, because it's the vast majority of the business. It is, and I don't see that changing for quite a while. It would have to be a sea change. Like if it changed, we would notice. Like if suddenly digital was more of a concern for wizards than paper, we would notice, because we would see Arena suddenly blowing up. It would require Arena just on a worldwide scale kind of blowing up. And really, Magic is too complex a game to blow up that way. It's our beast, you know? It's a very special beast, but it doesn't appeal to everybody. I said I was going to skim through chat, and here I am taking it all in. You guys are just so smart and awesome with your comments. It makes me want to chat all day long. Yeah, digital has always been in service of paper as well. Duels of the Planeswalkers was pitched as a new onboarding tool, and it delivered. And Arena, while not pitched specifically as an onboarding tool alone, was also, it was the design all along was, the intent all along was that that Arena could do the onboarding job that Duels had been doing. Is there a way to make a companion for each type of Magic player so that no one is upset with the mechanic? I don't think it's about, is there a companion for me? That is the problem, though. It truly is just a power level and a game variety level problem. And it's the game variety level problem that has me worried that even a mulligan style solution won't be enough. Does WotC need broader playtesting? I think yeah. let's just say, yeah, green kangaroo. It can be hard to get a parent company like Hasbro to approve headcount. Headcount is super expensive for companies, right? You can buy a thing to do a thing. You can, but when you hire a person, that's it. They really need to give a return on investment. And maybe this is the type of lesson that says, okay, we need to put in the money and double / triple / whatever our testing capacity, so that there's broader and deeper playtesting too. I pushed back hard against the notion somebody pitched online that was like, oh, they probably just only ever tested Winota in the Boros aggro deck. That's why. It's like, no, that's not how that works. They don't hold down their testers that way. The testers are if you are developing Magic sets and play testing them for balance, you are not shackled by you must do this. You are encouraged. You were hired because of your Magic brain. Your job is to try and break it. Try and break it. Not only play Winota in Boros aggro or whatever. It's like, no, try and break Winota. That's what they do. With mixed success. Hey, look, I made it to the poll I fired off 8 years ago. I was pretty darn tired of war by the end, yes. But I have enough distance that I'd be happy to play it. Now I will poll best of 1 or best of 3. We've best of 1 has been winning, but not by much. Maybe after yesterday we should try best of 3 to switch it up and see if we can recover our pride in the traditional queue. But as always, we'll do either one. Let's see what chat wants to do. Rat thinks companions are cool. Man. They have a cool flavor, Rat, but I would have snap called them not cool were I in the room. Like, as soon as I heard about them, I was like, what? That goes against all the, the tension of Magic design is like, how much consistency do you want to give spikes? Spikes love consistency, and Magic is about having enough variance so that Spike doesn't always win. And I immediately was like, what? Anyway, so they are cool maybe in concept, but I think they are very uncool as a game design idea. As a balanced mechanic idea, as a fun mechanic. Yeah, remember when Oko was the problem? Oko seems quaint now. Yeah, they did this huge revamp, and the result has been a big power change. I could talk about that for a second. I almost want to give it more time, but I'll say the big, as I understand it, the big sea change in process in R&D, there used to be a lead designer who would start the set, create a card file, and then hand that card file off to a lead developer. They called a lead developer. That was confusing because that's kind of a software term. But a play designer. They hand it off to a lead play designer who then has complete control over the set now. A complete set of fresh eyes and complete control. Not complete. You check in with the previous designer. But the point is, there was this clear baton handoff. One person is in charge of this set. Boom. Now another person is in charge of this set. And I think there might have been some magic, no pun intended, in what happens when you take someone who's put their heart and soul into a set and hand it off full power to somebody who hasn't, but who's a really talented game designer, right? Because then that person can, with a complete unbiased eye, look at your work as the initial designer and really without any sentimentality or, oh, I can't cut that card, or, oh, I want that to be powerful. They can really just try and be objective about it, right? Now, one person is taking a Magic set all the way through. One person is at the helm from start to finish. And I wonder, that's more traditional. I think if you go to most game-making operations, there is one mind at the top of any effort, and that mind stays at the top of the effort as the design lead through the whole effort. And maybe they have killed the goose that laid the golden eggs by switching up their process to not have that clear handoff to another designer. You know. Swag wants me to get on it. We're almost there. Yes, we'll be drafting soon. This has been good conversations, though. That's why I love you guys. Yeah, Chicken Marsh threatened to respond to that, but I haven't heard his response yet. I'm still waiting to hear what his big response is. Yeah, Copycat was a weird. There's been some troubling things that have slipped through R&D for sure. Winota does some stupid stuff. It's stupid that she doesn't have to attack to make it happen, and it's stupid that it triggers for everything attacking. She's pretty darn broken. All right, look at us, almost at the bottom. Ooh, best of 3 narrowly edges out best of 1 today. I'm gonna hop through the rest of the chat here and let's get on it, okay? Thank you all for your patience. Hope you appreciated the conversation as much as I did. Thanks.